This is where it's at.
Ryan, how are you doing, sir?
I am good. My back's a little achy tonight, but, that's what happens.
Yeah. Let's get past that.
Okay.
I learned a little something today about nature.
You seem very enthused by this.
I really wanted to share this with you because it was kind of interesting.
I'm intrigued.
Are you ready to hear?
I am. I'm about as ready as I'm going to be.
I found out today that human sperm is extremely nutritious for ants.
For ants.
For ants.
I did not see that coming. I thought you were just going to basically say what we all say to the lovely women in our lives.
Right.
Which is, it's nutritious.
It's nutritious. It's healthy.
But you're telling me that ants, you mean like the little insects that are on the ground?
Little ants, yeah.
There?
So it says in this little article, it says, like every cell in the human body, sperm contains sugar molecules. And if there is one thing we all know about ants is that they absolutely love some sugar, as it is a great source of energy for them.
Is that why they're so strong? They should lift everything.
That makes sense.
So my question is, how does one find this out?
I don't know, but it did.
How did they study this?
That's a great question.
Okay.
Maybe I should figure that out too.
No.
Oh,
you know
no.
what? I'm good. Let's just.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That might explain something.
Explain what?
I just realized I have a lot of ants in my apartment.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. Maybe I should stop emailing the apartment complex now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're gonna hear this and they're gonna go, no more.
It's
no amount of pesticide is going to keep these ants away.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, Trey.
So yeah,
that's
I love learning new stuff.
I never know how to move on from these amazing headlines that you give us.
Carefully.
Carefully. Oh, that's really funny. Well, another day, another show. We're just rolling them out for you guys, and we're having a good time doing it. I'm going to say, as we lead in tonight, that if you go onto our any of our pages, we are found on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Podbean, which is our actual distributor, our website, all over the place, right?
We have a website?
We do have. I've told you a few times.
Oh,
we do have a website. It's very, very confusing. It's just stayinthegraypodcast.com.
No www.
No, none of that shit. That's
okay.
old school.
That's old school. We're not old school.
Get with the program.
Yes, sir.
But if you go onto these, you'll notice that we're missing episodes 1, 2, and 3.
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, they ran away. They have been taken down. Trey and I we decided together to do that.
Have we been canceled?
No, nothing in that was to be canceled, except for like our friends and family who were disowning us for what we put in those episodes. But we just kind of made a decision that I wanted to just bring it up in case anybody was wondering. You start on 4, which is the first one. I just feel like there's that's where Trey and I both felt like we kind of got going there. The first couple were a warm up, And then we got going with 4. We started talking about some serious things and some things that I felt like it was just hard to just sit here and babble with Trey and myself for an hour or whatever about nothing of any importance. I felt like we needed to do something that added importance to the show, and we received a lot of good feedback in that regard. So we decided, all right, let's take these away for now, because guess what? If you go on to a new podcast, Trey, what are you going to start with? You're going to start with number 1.
Probably start with number 1, Ryan.
And
Was that a trick question? Were you trying to throw me off there?
Yes.
Make sure I was listening?
So we felt like let's the new number 1 is our number 4. Are you confused by
New
that?
number divide by what?
Yes. And so we want people to start on 4 at this time, and that's why. So if you look and you're seeing it, then But I'm also getting some feedback, and there's this idea that maybe Trey and I aren't quite as informed about certain things we talk about and whatever. But that's the point, ladies and gentlemen. We are trying to interact with regular people.
We are regular people.
We are going to bring some people on that are, I guess you could call them specialists in the field that we talk about. We plan on doing that, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that Trey and I can't have a meaningful discussion about some of these topics. And if there's something that you want to teach us about those topics, I don't know, get on social media, email us. Look,
we're not specialists,
right? This is the point.
Yeah,
is that I'm going to give you as much information as I can based on research and based on opinion and based on our lives. And if you have more for me, I appreciate that. But we also want to laugh and have a good time with it too. So I'm not going to sit here and give you, if Trey and I talk about guns, I'm not going to sit here and give you an hour just on guns about every little detail. We're not a gun show, right, Trey?
We're not.
We're not a gun show. So I wanted to mention that. So if you see 1 through 3 gone and you're going, what the hell do these guys do? It was intentional.
I was worried.
It was intentional. And we're going to move on from here, and things are going really well. So we're excited. Shifting to a topic that it just kind of blew us away today. Last show, if you've already listened, we did a piece, a little bit of a report on India and on the trains in India, right, Trey?
This was crazy.
And I posted a video to our Facebook page and to our Twitter page, and it like I mentioned, it looked like a bunch of I'll say ants tonight in honor of our headline story.
Yeah.
It looked like a bunch of ants on something moving. It was just crazy how these people tried to ride just to get to work, to get home every day. And wouldn't you know it, that the day that our episode with that report was released, that there was an incident over there, a horrible accident with 2 trains. And it's unbelievable. I don't know. Without making light of this, it made me go, maybe we shouldn't be talking about anything, because wow, I hope we didn't cause this. We don't have like weird premonitions or anything.
It's crazy coincidence, to say the least.
Crazy coincidence. And so as of now, all day these numbers have gone up. I think this was last night, which would have been midday for us, I think yesterday. And it's gone up and up and up and up. When I first started, it was like 10 people dead and 200 injured, which is still not great. But now we're up to 207 people killed, at least. They're claiming it's going to be more. And 900 injured, at least, claiming it's going to be more. 2 passenger trains collided when one of them derailed. And it was kind of the eastern side of India, in case you want to know. It says it, the thing that got me, it says it was India's deadliest rail accident in over a decade. Well, that doesn't seem like too long ago for something this capacity. So this isn't necessarily like that unusual. And it kills me. It's like, I know you guys have a 1.4 billion people, but maybe we should, I don't know.
Based on what you said yesterday, it's not like they're trying, based on the last episode, it doesn't show that they're trying to change or
yeah, how about we put a little bit of money into that somehow? There are some wealthy Indian people over there, like something. let's update this system.
They're not trying to fix the issue here.
Well, people were already, remember, what was it, 15,000 a year? People were dying already, much less when a train derails and crashes into another train.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I just can't imagine being on a train like, oh, going home. And then all of a sudden, it was 7 p.m., which means people are going home.
Yeah.
We just talked about it. And we made a joke about it. Oh, don't fix too much extra dinner. And we laughed. And obviously we didn't know that it's going to happen. But wow. So
Scary.
I wanted to bring that up because we saw it. And it's just kind of like, that wasn't based on this crash. This happened after we recorded the show. Right. So it was very strange for us, and I wanted to bring it up, and hopefully, what do we always say? Thoughts with the families, and hopefully, there's not many more that they find. Hopefully, they're almost done, and they figure something out at this point. But that's going on, and I just wanted to mention it. So
it's crazy this day and age that unfortunately there's countries that still have to travel like that, you know.
And I almost don't blame the rail system. I blame how many people there are. I don't know what, I still don't. Again, for people that think I'm misinformed or uninformed, I'm not sure how countries like China and how countries like India. I don't know enough. I'm not an anthropologist, or I didn't study these things. I imagine that it was just, I don't know if there are religions and cultures where you don't use contraception and you have 8 kids, and it's, if you don't have 10 kids in certain countries, you're a failure. And I mean, I guess that's how it happened, but that's what's going on. I mean, I don't know if that's why. I don't know. I'm going to wait and hear why it derailed, or see if they even release that information.
Yeah. I'm not a gynecologist, so I'm assuming everything you just said was correct.
Yeah, I think it's correct. But why would it derail? Was it weight on one side shifting it? I mean, if you have
maybe going too fast, or I mean, hell, even too many people.
That's what I mean. Was there too many people on one side? Maybe there's, I mean, if you have a lot of people over there that weigh an average of 150 pounds, and you have 200 of them on the side of a train, that may make a difference. Yeah. When it's turning, but just the timing of it. One train derailed right when the other train was there, and it just went straight into it.
That's crazy.
And so as we saw, it's not just the people inside the train, which is bad enough. It was the people outside the train hanging onto the. I mean, anyway, that's a lot. So I wanted to mention that, and hope that this is not a sign of our superpowers or anything like that.
I hope not.
And if it is, then we need to start thinking about good things.
Yeah, like that I win the lottery or
right,
something to that effect.
Put that out there. Speaking of money that you might come into, Trey.
I'm going to come into some money?
Well, I hope. You told me that you were. As you know, I'm going to remind you of this. As you know, you're now on the group email. We have heard from Okoro.
Yes, I did get that email.
We heard from our Nigerian listener who has turned into a friend, I would say.
Friend of the show.
Who has informed Trey that he has royal blood, a prince. You're a prince in that region, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I have to reread the email, but yes.
Yeah. So you are in line to receive a lot of money.
Yes. All I had to do was send $1,000 for processing.
I mean, that's nothing for process. That makes sense, right? So you did that. He got some other information from you just for processing.
Right.
He got mother's maiden name. He got all those things.
Yeah.
Again, just trying to get to know us and get the processing done, if you will. What was the other one? The pets names.
Pets name.
First teacher.
Mother's maiden name.
Something
kind
like
of some interesting questions, but yeah.
Yeah, but he knows a lot about us. It's good conversation when we finally come face to face with our buddy.
Right.
And so he emailed, as you know, because we have now have a big group email going. And there's another gentleman on that email, as you saw. I'm letting our listeners know. His name is Chiambo.
Our man Chiambo.
Chiambo was our Kenyan listener.
Yes.
If you remember way back, we had a Nigerian listener and a Kenyan listener. And Chiambo has decided he got a hold of Okoro. And he said, "Why are you laughing, Chiambo?"
I don't know. This is funny.
Chiambo said, "Trey, don't laugh at Chiambo."
Sorry.
Chiambo has started, he got Okoro involved, and he started a Stay in the Gray podcast African chapter of the fan club.
Love it.
And they are stationed in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yes.
Which is, maybe neutral to both of the countries,
Neutral
Kenya
area,
and Nigeria.
yeah.
It's kind of like, let's meet in the middle, if you will. And so I thought that was great. Our listeners have come together. We're going to meet them. What other? There's some other details.
Well, something that jumped out at me is obviously we're going to have to parachute in. I'm kind of freaked out about that, Ryan.
They said we needed to parachute in, and I thought it was just part of the adventure.
Something about staying under, 500 feet for whatever reason?
Yeah, they said 500 feet for our
for our safety
we're
or
supposed
something.
to tell the pilot to stay low.
So I thought that was interesting. I don't know how I'm going to do a parachute. I might have to latch onto you, but that with a death grip.
I don't think so. I think
No?
you're going to figure this thing out. We're going to have to go through some training before we go.
And they want us to come in at night, stay very.
Yeah, that was interesting too.
But what was weird is he said we need to cover our faces with black paint. There's something odd about that, and I just don't feel comfortable.
It doesn't feel right, does it?
Whole face,
Something
black
feels
paint.
wrong about putting black paint on our faces.
It seems wrong.
I think the intent was just to as we come in, we're not the white of our face isn't blinding to anybody.
Gotcha. So we don't want to
Kind of hides things.
alarm anybody.
Right. No, right.
Stay a little discreet.
Yeah. So we'll get there, and and remember he said we need to bring cash, so we'll have the cash.
We'll always
ready
have
to roll.
cash. Yeah.
And that way, if we need to get an Uber or something, right? When
Should
we
be
land,
easy.
We can just grab.
But we have our credit card on our cell phone, so we should be able to get Ubers pretty easily.
That's true. I mean, you've got to think that their Uber system over there is up to date.
Ooh, you think they'll take us to those diamond mines? It's supposed to have like blood diamonds, all red.
Yeah, the blood diamonds.
They must be super red to be called blood diamonds.
Are they
honestly.
red? That'd be awesome.
That's why they're blood
Is that
diamonds,
why they're
right?
called- Yeah. I guess you're right.
That should be fun.
Look, this is an adventure.
This is going to be fun.
And Okoro and now, of course, Giambo set this up. I think they've done a brilliant job.
I'm looking forward
So
to
we've
it.
got. Let me recap. We've got safari. We're
Safari.
gonna go see animals from the top of a jeep.
We're going to swim in the Nile.
Swim in the Nile. Lay out on the banks.
Lay out. That makes
We
sense.
may take a dip. We'll see.
Might be cold.
We'll see if it's too cold. We'll see. And we'll play with the animals and try and sleep in. I thought they had like some luxurious tents. I think they had for us
I'm looking forward
in
to
the
it.
safari
With a
That'd be
bidet.
nice. Yeah, the bidets. Well, I asked if they could get that, so hopefully they did.
I hope so.
So I'm looking forward to this. I
Should
mean,
be
I think
fun.
we're only like a month away.
It's going to be a blast.
We got to get ready. We got to do some prep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're going to leave the heat of Texas weather to go to Africa to get away
It's
from
gonna be
that.
nice, right?
Should be nice.
It
Nice
just
break from
reminds
the
me-
heat.
Reminds me when I lived in Maine, like for the summertime.
Nice and
Just
cool.
gorgeous during the summer.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. We might, we should go shop for get a few sweaters for the evening time.
Just in case it gets chilly?
Yeah,
Makes sense.
I forgot. That's one thing on my list I forgot to do.
That makes perfect sense.
But anyway, so Chiambo and Okoro have. I tell you what, I'm excited about the potential that we have, the pull that we have in Africa.
It's getting there.
And I think that the big reason, Trey, that we're having to be so secretive is because of the popularity that we've already maybe built, and they need to hide us. They need to keep us. It needs to be discreet, or else that we would never get in there
Yeah. And they may not, they want to get us in there safely.
safely. That's the most important.
We don't
thing.
want to hurt any people as we're coming in landing. So yeah.
and
we gotta
if
stay
anybody
discreet.
recognizes us, then that's not going to be good. We'll be swamped.
Swarmed.
Can't get anybody else, and so that would be, in my opinion, the reason for having to paint our faces. So it all makes
That makes sense. It's starting
There's
to come
no,
together.
yeah. There's
Okay.
there's nothing weird or shady about this at all.
I need to trust Chiambo and Okoro.
I mean, they've given us absolutely no reason to not trust them. So, anything else we want to do in Africa while we're there?
That's a good question. I need to
The
start
blood
Googling.
diamond mines,
It should be fun.
right?
Yeah.
There's no danger there.
Shouldn't be. Just red diamonds everywhere.
We'll be in the Congo. Now they call it the Democratic Republic of Congo. Wasn't there a movie about the Congo? How real is that? Remember they had like the
Is that with King Kong or what?
they had like the silver gorilla. Do you remember that movie?
No, I don't.
They were
Is
like
that with The Rock?
no, no.
He's probably a silver
you
gorilla
haven't
by now.
You haven't seen If it doesn't include The Rock, you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, no.
Okay.
Or Jason Statham.
Or Statham. Those are your boys.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Maybe we'll watch the Congo and we'll learn a little bit.
Figure it
before
out.
we go.
I like it.
Yeah.
Watch it on the plane before we parachute out.
All we're doing is research. Well, that's a great idea.
Oh, we could watch it on our phones while we're parachuting in.
Look, because it's going to be boring at night. We can't see anything.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
So we'll put the movie on.
that'll
Watch
work.
it. Yeah, sounds good. I can't wait.
I can just picture that.
Just hanging down on the way down. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh
so,
my gosh!
like I said, keep listening because we're going to continue to give you details and hopefully update you while we're there. We'll hopefully do some videos. As you saw, Okoro already sent me a picture of welcome sign for us that they've built.
Very cool.
That's on our social media pages as well. So go check that out.
Nice.
We're excited.
Very cool.
Okay, we'll move on from that. I think our excitement's kind of trickling into going on a little too long territory. But we're excited.
So speaking of
what?
yes, I read a story.
You're reading lots of stories since we've
I've
started
been
this
reading
podcast.
too much, I think. But they had pictures on it, so I thought it was cool to read. But this professor actually thinks, and I thought you'd be interested in this because of your time in
Professor
Scotland.
of where?
He's-
He's a Scottish professor.
Yes. This professor came out claiming that he thinks the Loch Ness monster
Okay.
might have actually been a whale's penis.
What?
Yes.
First off, Nessie is a girl. Everybody knows that.
Well, maybe the head is a boy. I don't know.
Well, this day and age, remember, Nessie could identify as a woman
Oh, that's true.
and have a penis.
That's
She needs tuck.
There you go.
She needs extra tuck.
Go to Target before we get there.
Yeah,
Go swimming.
Yeah, well, we know Target's got us covered.
So what he's saying is that, in of course it says back in the day, so it doesn't specify, but with travelers and explorers drawing what they saw, that this professor, and let me get his name for you, give him some credit, Professor Matthew Sweet. So super easy name compared to the names I've been dealing with recently. So
Right.
that works out. Sweet came out to say back in the day, people, travelers, explorers would draw what they saw. And this is where many sea monster stories came from, i.e. tentacles, alien-like, we'll just say appendages emerging from the water, this and that and the other, given belief that something more sinister lurking beneath. However, in many cases, these drawings that they were drawing were actually just whale dicks.
In many cases. So this isn't just the story.
Is other stories too.
Okay, go on.
So
I have questions already, but go on.
while making this observation in a tweet that went viral, Sweet also posted a handful of fairly graphic images to corroborate his claim.
Good job.
And help readers draw visual parallels between the elongated swan-like neck that has come to be associated with Nessie in popular cultures
Poor Nessie.
and some close-up shots of whale dongs. So maybe we
Nessie's
should
getting compared to a dog.
to a whale
is
dong.
what you're telling me.
So in these pictures that he's posted, maybe we should share these later on. But all you see is these nice pink,
Oh my god.
vibrant whale dongs.
All right, if anybody
Flailing.
doesn't want to see this, then just go on past it because we're gonna have to post it. I'm sorry, it's getting posted.
So I thought that was an interesting take on
I mean,
Nessie.
my first question is how is a whale in Loch Ness? Because
Did he swim?
Yeah. How did he get there? Loch Ness is pretty much landlocked,
Oh,
and it's fresh water.
fresh water. Okay.
So unless there's salt water on the bottom and there's like a passageway into the North Sea or the Atlantic, is that the way to get in? And then once they're there, I don't believe there's a whale in Loch Ness. Is basically what I'm saying.
So you're
I'm
saying
a
that
Nessie believer.
Professor Sweet is an idiot. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it may make sense for other sea creatures, like creatures and stories and fables and all that in the ocean, that this could be a whale dong. But in the loch, if you
not
will,
Nessie.
No,
But there's no tunnels or anything that could lead to that.
I don't know how they wouldn't have found it by now.
That's true.
But you never know.
You never know.
So, is it Nessie or is it a whale dog? You
world may
let us
never
know. This is very important. Get on our social media and let us know
Nessie,
whether you believe that Nessie was actually a penis.
a whale dong. We'll have to post that. That's pretty funny.
Hashtag Nessie was a penis. So
Pink and vibrant.
I know a lot of Scottish people that really just they've latched on to Nessie, and it's their touristy thing. It's their, it's just kind of their thing. And I think that they would be heartbroken at this guy.
They found out it was a whale's dong.
This guy probably pissed off an entire country of Scotland, but okay,
We'll see.
Yeah, Matthew Sweet, you said, huh? Right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I believe so.
We'll double check that real quick.
It's what. I don't think our listeners care that much.
Professor Matthew Sweet.
Professor Matthew Sweet. There it is.
Super easy name.
Easy name. So that's a great story, Trey. You've had a couple of good ones tonight.
Have I?
You've had ejaculate that goes on ants to make them work harder.
Yes.
And then you've had now comparing
Sweet nectar.
The lovely Nessie, who has just been a folklore for many, many, many years, now could possibly be
a whale's dog.
A whale's dog. Okay. These are the types of stories that you will get from us, ladies and gentlemen, that you won't get anywhere else. If you tune in to Rogan, is he really going to give you this story? He's fantastic, but he's going to give you this story?
I don't think so.
Come on. So, CNN definitely not going to give you this story.
Let's hope not. Although I may watch CNN more if they
wouldn't
did.
it be great? Yeah. Yeah, I know. I would probably watch any channel that talked about this. That being said, everybody, it is time. It is time.
Oh, man.
We promised it a few episodes ago, and we're going to deliver. Well, Trey's going to deliver, and I'm going to sit here and enjoy it. Trey is about to tell us about another situation he got himself into. And I don't know yet whether it was a good situation, whether he's happy he was in it, or whether he wasn't. I just kind of know the premise. And you will want to listen to this. So without further hesitation, since I tend to ramble, Trey, go ahead.
So I wanted to tell you the story about the first time I went to a lifestyle club.
A lifestyle club.
A lifestyle club.
I think we mentioned this a long time ago, but tell me real quick what a lifestyle club is.
It's pretty much where couples go and share, swap, swing.
Okay, the S words.
So
couples, do they have to be couples, or can they just be like, hey, let's go to this thing together?
Well, you can go as a single.
Oh. Well, no, but I meant like just friends that go together.
It was people in this lifestyle that have the open relationships,
Right.
open marriages, and stuff like that. So that's their lifestyle.
Would anybody go to something like this as a single? Wouldn't they feel like a loser?
I guess it
All
depends.
right. I'm going to wait. Go ahead.
So
I can hear our listeners going, shut the fuck up right now. Okay.
So anyway, I was seeing this one woman.
You're kidding.
And I met another woman. So this other woman had told me.
At the lifestyle club?
Well, no. So let me back up.
I'm sorry. I want to get to this lifestyle club. Go ahead.
Ironically, the two women one that I was seeing from the department store story.
Oh, okay. We all remember that.
Okay.
Got it.
The second one I met, ironically, met at the same department store, just a different city. Kind of crazy.
Hold on. Is this you just met up at the same department store, or you met her at the store?
Yeah, met her at the store as a meetup, as a meetup introduction, Did
you do that on purpose?
No, it was kind of random. Anyway, so
I can't stop interrupting. I'm so fascinated. Go ahead.
So this new woman, I met her apartment. We're talking, and she mentions this lifestyle club to me. She also mentioned that she was very interested in being with another woman. So I told this to the woman that I was seeing. You still with me?
I'm still with you.
Okay. And she decided, let's go check out this lifestyle club. So me and the woman that I was already seeing
invited
this other woman to join
So
us.
3 of you went to the lifestyle club.
No, the first time, no.
Okay. All right.
But I was trying to set this up because ultimately, yes, she does join us at one point.
Okay.
So me and this woman go to this lifestyle club, and yes, you are allowed to go as a single male, but I want to say it's like $100 to get in as a single male.
Oh,
we get
so they're
in there.
not wanted.
Well, they don't want. They
It's
don't want to
$1,000
encourage
you walk through the door.
a bunch of single.
Right. The big sausage fest where everybody's standing around with their dongs out.
A lot of sword fighting, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So they don't want to encourage that. So anyway, we get there and it's kind of like a deer in headlights. You know, we walk in not knowing what to expect, and think of it just like almost like a midlife crisis dance club. I guess is the best way to put it.
I was going to say, does it look like a dance club? Is it dark? Is there music playing? Is there
just like any normal bar
club
type scenery club, little dance floor and stuff like that. So yeah, we walk in and
is there a bar in there?
Little bar. Okay. They serve food.
I'm sure that's quality.
Pool tables.
Pool tables. Okay, this is just like a hangout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so they were playing some good music, and again, everybody was around our age. You know, mostly I would say even a little bit older, and some interesting characters to say the least.
I'm sure.
So we're sitting there, kind of like I said, deer in the headlights. We don't know what to do, and so the owner of the club comes up and introduces himself. And
seems so awkward, just like trying to hang out, like dance.
He's like first time here, obviously. He's like, well, let's show you around. So, he shows us. Obviously, we're sitting there in front of the dance floor, so enjoy the dancing and stuff like this. And he takes us, into a viewing room where it's basically a couch and a screen.
The viewing room, is that similar to the one you went to at the
almost
adult
a little
bookstore?
less shady though. It was
okay, so it was acceptable.
Yeah,
acceptable.
It wasn't as shady.
It didn't have like a $2 machine,
right,
and all that.
So
you didn't have to pay for your 5-minute film. Okay,
so he shows it to us. They're showing a movie. It's like, if y'all want to come in here, hang out and stuff like that. Watch a movie, whatever. So we're like, all right, cool. We come around the corner. There's an outdoor patio area. People are out hanging out, drinking and stuff like that. They actually had almost like cabana type little beds out there. And so that was kind of cool. But it was during the year. I want to say it was a cold time of year. I want to say November, October.
Cold enough, yeah. To not
October, November.
Laying out in the cabana,
right.
Nothing, yeah.
So he's showing us around. They had heaters out there and introduced us to some regulars and everything like that. So it was cool. Then we come back inside, and he said, okay, now this little area had almost like a little security guard. You can only go past here if you are accompanied with a woman.
Oh.
Or by a woman. How do you say that? Accompanied by a woman, with a woman? Anyway, you can't go past it if you're a single guy.
Got it.
All right. And so basically when you go past, you go to the right, and the right side is basically a big mat, I guess is the best way to put it. Almost like
a big mat, maybe at a gym, like what you lay on for weights.
No,
or a bed or a mattress.
It wasn't really a mattress either. It was almost like the same type of deal, like when you're getting a massage, that type of massage table type deal, except bigger.
But on the floor?
No, it was up high.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Yeah, so it was up high.
Okay.
And so it had this very open bed, and it had a glass. So people on the outside of the glass could sit there and watch.
Could watch what?
Whatever you want to do.
Oh.
So at the time,
what if you just wanted to
at the time,
hang out?
As we walked in there initially, there was nothing going on. So he's showing us around. So there's this big bed, open glass. Well, surrounded by this big bed are a bunch of little small rooms with curtains. So at that point, he advised us, if you want to go into one of these rooms, you can either leave the curtain open that allows people to watch, or you can shut the curtain, which means that they have to ask permission.
So how does one ask permission?
Yeah, I mean, literally, hey.
They have to knock
or something saying, do you mind if we watch?
Oh, that's so weird. God.
So then he took us into another room that had a bunch of more beds.
Okay.
And same thing, the curtains, you pull the curtains if you don't want to be watched, so on and so forth. So,
But why would somebody not want to be watched? They're just like walking around like, you know what? I can't wait. Let's just go in there and shut the curtains.
right.
Well, I imagine that anybody that's there probably wants to be watched, or is that
Maybe. I mean, it just depends.
you didn't see any of that?
Well,
Okay. Oh,
not at the moment.
all right.
So, we're walking around and talking to people, introducing ourselves and stuff like that, just trying to kind of understand what's going on. Needless to say, at some point we decided, you know what, let's just go do our own thing. Let's not try to meet anybody, because basically the rule was going to be if she was interested in the guy, then cool, I'll join in. But if she's not interested in the guy, then it'll be just the two of us. So if she was interested in the guy, we'll swap. I'll be with the woman, she'll be with the guy. So that was kind of the rule. If she wasn't interested, then it was just going to be the two of us.
I feel like it should be both of you needed to be interested.
Right. Well,
Right,
yeah. But
chances are that if she was interested, you would probably be.
most likely the woman would be
Right.
sexy too. So anyway, we walked around, we talked, we introduced ourselves to people, and ultimately, we danced on the dance floor a little bit. So it was fun. It was actually a fun deal. The people were very cool, very open, very,
You're kidding. They were open?
Yeah, there was rules. Obviously, you can't make any advances on the woman unless you ask. So you had to ask the guy,
I see.
okay, and stuff like that. So there was rules involved. And like I said, the area with the glass, there was one area you could go and watch. So there was outside of that room where the glass was, you can go on that other side of the glass and just sit there and watch all you want. But you couldn't go inside of there unless you had a woman with you. So,
okay. So if you show up as a single dude, you pay $100, you have no woman with you, they give you a little area.
They give you an area where you can watch.
Okay.
You can obviously you can hang out in the bar area. You can hang out in the dance floor. If a couple wants you to join,
Decides then
so you can go in there.
Go there with maybe a slim chance that you're gonna get reeled in by somebody.
Right.
Let me ask you: are there any women that come by themselves?
Usually they need help, but no, I'm sure they don't come by. No,
I see what you did there. I'm going to rephrase.
Yes, it is possible.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm rephrase. Any women come alone. That doesn't work either. Any women show up to the establishment by themselves. Do they have to pay $100?
No. I think even they got in for free.
Oh.
So yeah. So they're welcoming that.
This sounds like a double standard, and this sounds like some sort of sexist nonsense.
Right?
No, I'm kidding. Go
And you should have saw this place. It was in an area where it was in the back of these warehouses. I mean, a very kind of a seedy, like you never would have seen this place ever. Mm-hmm. And if you did see the sign, you have no clue what it is. Needless to say, next door, or I should say even hooked to that same building, there was a bondage club. We did not go into that one. So,
Good for you, Trey.
Interesting.
Good. I'm glad you have some sort of a...
But we did see some interestingly dressed people walking in there, so that was fun.
I bet. You could just sit there. In fact, I wouldn't even want the glass at the lifestyle club. I would want a spot over watching people walk into the...
It was interesting.
The bondage... What'd you call it? The
bondage club.
The bondage
club.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were walking around. I think she even brought...
So you had been seeing her for a while?
Well, I'd been seeing her for a little while.
I forgot if you told me the amount of time.
Maybe a month.
Okay, but so not enough to like her.
She was cool to hang out with.
There's no awkwardness there.
No.
Okay, you didn't. This wasn't like the bookstore.
No, trying to get rid of her. No,
the parking lot or the.
No, we went together. So
you didn't have to sell her any real estate.
And didn't know real estate. Okay. So no.
Good for you.
So
we've progressed.
We did go together. So
okay.
So yeah, needless to say, we walked around, we mingled, we talked to people, and just trying to understand that whole lifestyle piece of it and kind of get a feel of how that all worked out. But ultimately, we ended up moving on by ourselves. So
by yourselves, you didn't find one of those single men.
No. Did not find another guy that she was interested in, which was good
for you.
We went
Do you
back
think
to
that you would have been okay with it?
If she
had found a guy that she liked and that guy had another woman?
Oh yeah, probably. Oh. At that point, yeah. Right. I'm assuming if the woman was attractive, yeah. So no, yeah. With her, there was no.
What if the woman was one of the former bigger women that you've met up with? She just happened to be there.
I'll say I'll wait outside.
How awkward that'd be! Oh
yeah.
my god.
That would be bad.
Yeah, but I wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Knowing my luck, yeah.
The luck and just that a couple of these women have liked that kind of a thing. The adult bookstore was it sounded like a lesser version of this, just like you hide it when you're in the adult bookstore.
Yeah.
This is just more like, okay, we're here for this.
Yeah.
Interesting, Trey. Goodness. Okay, so you went off on your own.
So we ended up back in that viewing room for a little while.
Okay. Was there anything going on to view?
No. We sat in there. We talked. We were watching a movie. She proceeded to.
You were in the viewing room.
Yeah, we were in the viewing room.
You were at the spot where you were watching.
We were in the viewing room.
Okay.
So at that point, she proceeded to start pleasuring me, and that was nice.
Is there any story where you don't get pleasured? I mean, you seem to have it down.
Did I tell you about my marriages?
Oh, yeah. That's true. You're just making up for lost time.
Anyway, so after we hung out in there for a little bit, there was actually the guy was giving another tour while we were in there, and he kind of laughed about it and, showing them around, kept going. So, why don't we go check out one of the rooms? So we went back into one of those rooms that they showed us, and I want to say we pulled the curtain and proceeded to have some fun.
Yeah.
At some point, you could tell people were. It's almost like livestock. You're coming through. There was people just kind of walking around, looking around and stuff. And
what do we got over here?
And we heard a couple times, "Hey, do you mind if we watched?" And she was like, "Sure." And she pulled the curtain, and I was like,
"Oh, no way! I didn't think you guys would do that." Ooh. Oh my God, how weird was it?
It was actually interesting.
Interesting.
I figured I would get stage fright.
What does that mean? Yeah.
But it was actually, I don't know, it was kind of freeing a little bit, to say the least.
Okay.
And so
freeing. Okay.
Then as, the curtain opens up, we see that there's a couple on that very public display bed just going to town.
Wow.
And so we sat there and just kind of enjoyed watching that for a little bit. So that was interesting.
Wow, this is like I feel like there's a mini series on Cinemax or something about this place.
It was interesting to say the least. It definitely was eye opening. Never seen something like this before.
Yeah, it's not a common evening out.
Yeah.
I think my wife and I took the kids for ice cream, and before that, we hit up the Tex-Mex so the kids could wipe queso all over their face.
Absolutely.
And we went home and watched some TV.
Yeah.
Watched a little Bravo. Bravo. And meanwhile, there are people out there that are at the Lifestyle Club.
At the Lifestyle Club.
I don't know which one I'd rather be at.
Which scenario you would want to be a part of.
Yeah, because I absolutely love my wife and my kids, and so I'm happy here. But I'm so intrigued by these types of things.
It was interesting.
I would not want to see. I'd be the guy that is like, I'm just gonna hang out and just
watch.
Not even watch that. Just watch everything going on and stay away from the rooms just enough to okay, there's a guy watching them. And
let's just say at one point I left to go to the restroom. And so she stayed there. I left to go to the restroom. And at this point of the night, there was people doing it almost everywhere.
Oh,
so of course the beds.
It just gets to that point at night. Everybody's drunk.
Everybody's ready to roll. Going. And there was booths. As I was crossing booths, there was women on top of other guys, and it was just like, oh goodness gracious! And it was kind of, like I said, very interesting.
Sounds very clean and
tidy. Yeah. Very sanitary.
Trey.
Are you worried about me sitting on your chair over
here?
Right
I know. I need to put a plastic, a tarp over it.
Not going to hug me at all anymore.
No.
But this was the first visit.
Yeah.
So,
the first visit.
So
you liked it well enough. It was fun. It was interesting. Yeah. It was new.
It
doesn't sound like you did. It doesn't sound like you did anything any crazy. You just,
no.
I mean, maybe a few people watched, but.
So, we enjoyed having sex in there. Yeah. It was fun. We both had a good time. People may have watched. We watched some people. It's very erotic, very fun, very eye-opening.
Normal night.
Yeah. I've never done this before. Yeah. Never seen this before. So.
Well, good for you, my man. Like I said, I don't know if it's my deal, but
I didn't know if that was my deal either.
I definitely like to hear about your experiences with it. So I can't wait for the next one because I feel like now you're going in as an experienced lifestyle club goer.
Well, let me tease the next one.
All right, tease it up.
It actually involves 2 women.
Okay, 2 women that you arrive with,
Yes,
or women that you meet there.
2 women I arrived with.
I bet it's not just as simple as that.
It was fun. It was a fun night. First.
Maybe it was just as simple.
It was a first for me, and definitely a night I'll remember. So
Okay, all right, we'll get there. Listeners, Trey is a good guy. he really is. He's just being an adult after a divorce, and I I give him credit for coming on here and being willing to share these stories with us, because he went through, as we know now, he has found somebody that means a lot to him, and he went through some, thick and thin to find that, and it came out of nowhere, and he didn't do anything wrong, right, Trey?
not at all. Actually, I was worried. A couple days ago, I called my mom.
How did we go to Mom and Trey after that story? But go ahead.
Well, I called my mom and she didn't answer. No big deal. She usually calls me right back. Doesn't call me back. Next morning, I call her again. She didn't answer again.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, what the hell? No text or anything saying, I can't, I'll call you right back, anything. Nothing. So I'm like, what is going on? I started thinking, is she listening to these stories and she's disappointed?
she's like, yeah, he's not mine.
So I text my brother. We're in a little group text. I text my brother and say, hey, is mother mad at me or something? He's like, I don't know. She's not here. I was like, what?
Uh-oh.
What is going on? Well, then it got to late afternoon that evening. Still hadn't heard from her. I said, she's still not home? He's like, oh, I forgot to tell you, her phone was dead. And so then she finally called me.
Yeah, but it sounds like it had been dead for a long time.
Well, she's bad with her cell phone. I buy her that damn cell phone so that we can get a hold of her. And what does she do? She leaves it places. She doesn't plug it in. So it's like defeating the purpose.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, don't get mad at me, but I feel like that's every woman that listens. I feel like that may be a woman thing. And you guys, come on, don't get on me for this, because there are a lot of women I know that just like, where's my phone? I don't know where it is. Just all the time.
Just be better.
Just be better. And the amount of time I've spent looking for a woman's phone in my life is a lot. I want that time back.
Right. So, yeah, that's my story. Hopefully I'm not upsetting my mother by telling you this story.
Well, you know what? I think we should probably do a disclaimer before each story. Mama Trey.
Fast forward.
Look away. I mean, I know you're not even watching, but look away. Go fast forward. Leave and go do something away from it if you don't know how to fast forward.
Yeah, I'm still your son.
And I mean, of course you are, but I don't think she wants to hear this.
No.
So we'll cue her up, and I'll look at the time, and I'll send her a text, and I'll be like, look, when you get to this time,
hit fast forward.
Either hit fast forward or just go away for about 15 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
That's a good son right there.
That's a good disclaimer right there.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to just let her hear it. So, oh goodness. All right. I don't know how to move on from that. But we're going to try and do this. And I don't think it's going to be a long discussion because, again, this isn't something it's a serious topic, but it's not something that I don't think there's a lot to know about it. I think it just genuinely comes down to how you feel when you talk about it, when you think about it. And yes, there are some logistics involved, and there are some things that you have to figure out from the gray areas. It's not totally black or white, but at the same time, part of it is. And I'm talking about, I was reading, Trey, about a bunch of articles that just seem to keep coming up, and I try and read the publications, like I told you, that are neutral, the AP, Reuters, even BBC to a point. And it's all over these, and I'm sure it's all over the other ones too, but I'm getting all sorts of discussion pieces and stories about people suing states, even hospitals, countries, over assisted suicide.
Ooh, that is interesting.
Over human euthanasia is what is another term for it.
Gotcha.
And people have a problem with euthanizing animals, much less humans, and so they we call it assisted suicide. In the United States, just to kind of to lead in the United States, there are, I think, 8 states plus DC. You're looking at a lot of West Coast. Hawaii is pretty far west. Washington State, Oregon, California, of course, and then of course you have some on the east, Maine and New Jersey, Vermont, things like that. Not a lot in the middle, not a lot of flyover. So I don't know if this is maybe viewed as a liberal topic. I don't think so. Like I don't think there's one side or the other that thinks a certain way. Maybe there is, and I'm ignorant to that. But in the world, it's kind of European countries, Australia. And it says a lot of under certain circumstances. So I think there is some gray area there. There are some laws and there are some restrictions, things like that. And I'm sure it has to do with documentation and signatures and things like that, obviously. But countries like Austria and Germany and the Netherlands, and then of course New Zealand and Australia, Switzerland. I mean, all these types of countries all allow it in some capacity. And so, one case was really interesting where a woman went to a different state that allowed it, and the family's suing because they did it, and it's a mess. It's crazy. So I was interested in it. I found myself clicking on these stories going, how do I feel about this?
Yeah.
If it was my grandmother, let's say, and both of my grandmothers have already passed, but if it was one of them a while ago. I'd like to know what you think first, hearing this, and if you've even ever thought of this.
Where my mind went is, I can't imagine a loved one, a friend, whatever the case may be, is coming to you and just saying, "Hey, I've got this terminal illness, and I want you to help me in my life, as a friend, as a family member, as a loved one."
I didn't even think about it from the person that they asked to help them.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Well,
there's also, in all fairness, they do come to family members and friends and things like that. But the biggest thing about assisted suicide is that it's in the hospitals. It's in the medical facilities where they're asking the medical workers. In fact, we might ask, if we ever have Jess back on, if she ever wants to come back on.
Yeah.
If she's heard of something like this in the hospitals. In Texas is, I don't believe, one of the states that allows it at this time.
Yeah.
And so, if she heard anything about this, can you look at a nurse or a doctor or somebody in the janitor or somebody in the hospital and say, "Hey, I don't want to, I'm ready. It is my decision. This is my body, but I'm not capable of doing it physically. I'm not capable of killing myself."
Well, when you're saying capable, it's like swallowing some pills or actually physically doing harm to yourself. Well,
either one. You don't have access to the pills. You're in bed at a hospital. I mean, they're in the hospital, I'm sure, but you don't have.
Well, you said this one woman drove to Vermont, so I'm sure she was.
She
capable.
checked herself in.
Well,
I'm saying, but you don't have access. If you're in the hospital bed, you check yourself into a hospital. The pills aren't just laying there,
right? But what would have kept her from just taking the pills before she drove to Vermont? Just any kind of pills, overdose on something.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that the issue there is that an assisted suicide, some people just can't take their own lives.
Yeah. Which is good. I mean, they're ready to go, but they need that somebody has to go over that line. I mean, you hear people that are like, "Oh, I thought about suicide and I was going to do it," and you just can't do it. Couldn't do it.
Thank goodness that there's a lot of that, but that's what I mean is that she wanted somebody to do it. The state she lived in, I forget whether it was Connecticut or wouldn't do it. It wasn't allowed. Apparently, she tried like 5 hospitals or something.
Wow.
And then just said, "You know what? I'm going to go to a state like this and check in somewhere else." And I think they went ahead and did it. I forget who did and how it happened and all that. And then, of course, the family finds out, and
do you know if she
did
she have a terminal illness?
Yeah, it was a terminal illness.
Okay.
And again, there's 16 articles that I've been reading about it, so I apologize. I don't know which illness it was, but I don't think that's necessary. It is a terminal illness.
Which is
So I'm getting defensive about what I know and don't know about my articles.
Which has got to be scary because I guess at some point, if you have a terminal illness, do you want to? What kind of life do you want to live at the end?
Well, right. That's the point.
Do you want to be defecating on yourself, or where you can't, you don't even know your loved ones anymore, or do you want to?
One way to put it.
Leave, with a good memory before you pass, where you can truly love all your family members before you go, as opposed to going out, not depending on, I guess, what the illness is, but
that's what I mean. It gets interesting.
Without dignity, I guess is the best way to put it.
With like Alzheimer's and stuff, where it's not an immediate term. It's not, you're not going to die immediately.
Right.
In some cases, you might, but my, not to get emotional about my family, but my one grandmother had Alzheimer's. It took her 7 years maybe of a downward spiral. She couldn't she wouldn't recognize my grandfather on certain days. She chased him around the house with a knife. All the stereotypical stories you hear about that were true in this case. And growing up watching their 55-year marriage, met in World War II. I should tell that story sometime. They didn't speak the same language when they met.
Oh, wow.
She grew up in France, and he was, of course, English. And they didn't speak a word, and they taught each other, and it's a cool story. They were actually on a date with separate people, double date, and they switched halfway through because they liked each other. And
Lifestyle club.
That's why my grandparents in World War II in occupied France.
There you go.
Were acting out the lifestyle club. And so the point is that they, after that long and seeing how happy and how just to see that happen was crazy. And so you go, what if somebody at the beginning of that, before knowing what you're about to do, and I don't think my grandmother was capable. I think she was scared and she was just the sweetest. And some people just can't think about that. And they think about their family and they go, no, even if I'm here in a capacity that's not recognizable. And it got to that point. It was really kind of sad.
Yeah.
And I want to be here for them as long as they want. Okay, well, then you get into the idea of, well, can you give the family permission that once I'm mentally checked out, can they make the decision? And that becomes kind of, the whole pull the plug. When I'm whatever, pull the plug. Well, that's different for a lot of these things.
Yeah.
We're not talking about being in a coma or brain dead or vegetable or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
We're talking about illnesses and diseases that are slowly taking these people, in some cases in a painful way, in other cases in a mental way, and the people that love them are affected by it. Some people want out of that. They want to just get it over with, and they want the people to move on.
Yeah.
And themselves to move on. And other people are a little bit maybe more timid about it. And then there's the people, in my opinion, who are in the middle, which is this lady in Vermont who couldn't do it herself. Basically said, I want this, and then probably turned the other way and just said, just do it, kind of a thing. And not literally, but you know what I mean. Just, I don't want to think about it, but just do it.
Well, and on the flip side, it's almost selfish on her family. They're trying to sue the state, but all she wanted was some peace from this illness.
Yeah.
And they're selfishly, obviously, wanting to keep this woman around in their life longer, even though she was going to be going through something horrible like this. So is that kind of selfish on the loved ones too? That, hey, I want my mother, my, grandmother, whatever the case may be, is in my life longer, even if she is going to be suffering, going through this illness. So,
well, I mean, that's true. Absolutely, that's true. That's
and I wonder if there's third parties out there that, because I can't even imagine a family member coming to me saying, hey, when the time comes, I need you to do this. I need you to pull the plug. Wouldn't it be easier to get a third party involved?
like hospital, like the facility there.
With no emotional.
Yeah.
It's just very cut dry.
I just had a very, very strange idea for a business.
Unfortunately, I was thinking about that too.
It sounds really bad, but what if you had a business that had third party, that were at hospitals for these in those states, and they were, for some reason, just maybe numb to it. For
Right.
some reason, they had the capability to shut off their emotions.
Or they go talk to the doctor. Here's the facts.
Yeah.
Here's the facts. Boom,
Well, the
boom,
ones
boom.
that actually do it are what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they go based on the facts.
Right.
The doctor's recommendation, science,
Right.
and they do it off that. And then, boom, they pull the plug at that point. That way the family can grieve. They don't have any guilt by doing this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but like you said a minute ago, there are families out there that are going to, there's always going to be issues, and that's where it becomes so gray, in my opinion. It becomes in this case, should it be legal? In this case, how do you get beyond the family? In this case, I mean, it's just like constant. I feel like before you can make a decision like that, you have to have like this attorney come in with all these documents and have notaries there, and all these things get done. And maybe that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe if you really want this, let's go through the process so that everybody's covered. There aren't doctors that would get sued, maybe for performing or however they decide to euthanize. I would imagine it would be. I don't know. What do you think? Pills, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, they're not going to give lethal injections in a hospital. I can't imagine. The chance of those going bad are higher than a lot of other methods. But the pills aren't always effective either. It takes a while. It's painful sometimes if it doesn't take.
It's almost like we've discussed, topics before. But why should the government be able to decide
how
or what you can do to yourself, what you can do to your body?
So God, I don't mean to laugh, but you think that included in this paperwork is the method on how they're going to be exited from the line.
Well, what I'm just saying is why should this be illegal? Why does the government decide that something like this is legal on what you
I thought you meant the way that they die.
No. The fact that you want to
I was talking about
do this
what you think, what do you think that would be the best way to do it?
Oh, no.
Well, that's what I was asking you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you think?
I would want something that slowly puts me to sleep.
Well, right. So I mean, you'd think that they'd have something you could put in an IV, right? Just something that's, and I guess that's kind of an injection, but not really.
Well, I don't know if I want, because knowing my anxiety, I would be freaking out if it's slow. So,
well, I think people that are super anxious, I don't know if they could do it anyway.
No,
I can't imagine anything. I want my family to deal with me till the bitter end.
The bitter end. Changing my diapers.
Change the diaper. I may not
chasing me down the street butt naked.
Are we going to be doing that together?
Yeah.
Oh, there Ryan and Trey go again. Let's get him back to the ward. Did I say ward? I meant the senior citizen home.
Help me, baby Jesus.
Yeah, we were like, what does Will Ferrell say? We're going streaking.
Going streaking.
Yeah. Our families might sign something that says we've made the decision.
Yeah,
they are out of here. Yeah. Just
pull the plug.
None of this IV.
Ma'am, he's only asleep right now.
Just a shooting range. Just get him out there and good luck.
Just pick him off.
Yeah, pick him off. Just look. No. Okay, so your whole thing was why did the government? I'm with you. I think that if somebody, I wonder if it's an issue where they're just worried that maybe people are emotional at the moment, and then maybe the next day they're different, and they want to save them, and maybe they think that they're making a decision in haste.
Yeah, I guess that could be.
It's one thing I can think of. The other thing is just that.
Set up a process then. You come in, you sign paperwork, okay, send them home for a day, 2 days, whatever the case may be, send them to their family, have a discussion, an intervention, whatever. Maybe there's a process.
But where's the line? I mean, what if you didn't do it and a week later they change their mind? I'm just where's the line? I don't know this. I'm just tossing out maybe the other side of it.
The line is when they inject you.
That tends to be the line. So it's just an interesting topic all around. I wanted to discuss it a little bit, and I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, after all that talk, I'm sitting here going, I think what I'm hearing from you is you think that it should be a decision by the person. Like you don't
right.
You don't think anybody should decide. I think I'm with you. I think bottom line, is it, what do we like to say? Is it's their body, it's their choice, it's their life. And I know it's not as simple sometimes when it comes to a mental capacity. I mean, what if they're a little bit gone and they're going to be like that for a few years?
Yeah.
And that's what's causing them to say these
Make
things.
that decision.
And they don't know. And there's a way to maybe get a little better. And their family's going, yeah, let's go through the therapy. Let's go through, whatever we can do to keep this person with us until we're definitely sure. And meanwhile, the person's going, no, I don't want to do it. It's too hard. Take me. So, yeah, ultimately, I guess it does come down to that person's choice, but it's just not as simple.
No.
Like everything. But I think I'm with you. I think if I had to choose, I would say it needs to be the decision of the person that's wanting to die.
And I think at that point too, you might have the capability or the opportunity, I should say, to bring in family members and stuff to be with you at that time, as opposed to doing it by yourself, nobody around, and then they find you later on. So maybe that's even
I don't know. I mean, could you?
A way to say goodbye to.
I don't know if I could do that.
No.
I don't know if I could. What do you think? I mean, I don't think I could sit there with like my grandmother. It's like sitting there with a dog when they put it down.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to
hard
see.
enough.
Yeah, you don't want to see somebody go.
That's what I mean. So that's an interesting thought too. Is what if the person says, "I want you all here"?
Yeah.
Grandma, this is hard enough.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch this. And like I said, you have a dog. I had my first dog. There was a dog when I was a little kid for a couple of years, but I didn't know him as much. I was a kid, a little toddler, and he was already, I think, 8 when I was born. But the first dog I had that for the full length term as a kid was named Shadow, and he unfortunately had arthritis, and he at 11 was just in utter pain. Only 11. I know that's not that young, but it's also not that old.
Right.
He was a black lab, so I think the labs and
for that, yeah,
retrievers,
that's probably older.
And so when my father called me the day that he was put down, and I was working. I think this is when you and I were actually working together, and my dad called and he said, this. I just want to let you know it's all done. We had to put Shadow down. And my sister, who at the time I think was like 13, had to watch.
Oh, wow.
And you're going, oh, I can't even imagine that for your dog. I mean, you love your dog, but you also love your grandmother in a whole different way. Right. And to watch that happen, I don't know what that would be like. So that's an interesting topic. So, anybody that has any thoughts, let us know. The usual social media. I'll post one of these stories because they are fascinating. There's a couple that are just, there's all over the world. I mean, I'm getting, there's one that really got me where France is arguing about whether they should legalize it or not. The Dutch activists are suing their own government because they allow it. Like, it's just
really,
there's just all sorts of stuff going on with this topic that I had no idea about, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. So
I guess I'd be curious as far as the people that don't want it, as why.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, like I said, because they don't want to make mistakes. They don't want to,
Well, unless it's a specific loved one.
True.
Why would they care if the country makes it legalized?
I just think it's a principle thing for people. I think it's like abortion. I mean,
That's
it's not their pregnancy, but they're still not wanting it to be taken, and that's kind of the deal. So, so I hope everybody enjoyed listening to that, and it just. Something that you don't think about much, and I just keep seeing it, so I thought we'd bring it up.
Hopefully we get some feedback, because I'm curious what people think about something like this.
It's interesting. I hate to make it a poll because it's kind of like a morbid poll, but at the same time, it's not. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's legit.
Maybe post one of those stories that you.
There you go. Simply put, I'll post a story. But simply put, do you agree with assisted suicide? I mean, again, there's a lot of middle ground, but yes or no should be pretty easy on this one, I think.
Yeah.
If you had to choose one, which one would it be? I think I'd be interested to see.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think it would be interesting.
Okay. Well, we'll move on from that. So what else you got for me, my man?
Let me ask you this.
All right.
Have you ever been stung by a bee?
I have not actually been stung by a bee. I don't know why. Everyone else seems to be.
I've been stung once. It got in the car, and I couldn't get out of the car fast enough.
Were you driving or were you?
No. I was a kid.
Oh,
and
you're a kid.
Yeah,
that would be
it
so funny,
absolutely
though.
sucked. So can you imagine? Well, I guess you can't since you've never been stung before.
Yeah.
But it sucks, just to say the least.
Like a
It does
bee,
suck.
or are you talking about
bee
like a
sting.
hornet or a wasp or
A bee.
an actual bee?
An actual bee.
All right.
So it does suck. So anyway, I came across the story, and this sounds absolutely horrible. 81-year-old Carlos Amos was simply out in front mowing his yard.
Well, this is going to go bad for Carlos.
So first of all, 81 years old mowing his yard, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, good for him.
So can you imagine mowing your yard and some bees come up? What do you do? So
Just start swatting. That's what I would do. I mean, because you don't anticipate more than a couple.
So this man was out mowing his yard when some bees started attacking him. He did try to fight them off.
How many are you talking about?
Well,
Okay, some bees.
some bees
All right.
started attacking him. He did
Take it
try to
easy.
fight him off. He ended up falling and breaking his hip.
Oh.
So,
and so he couldn't get away.
so this swarm of bees, over 200,
Oh, they smell blood.
attacked
Not
him.
literal blood, but
Attacked him. You know how long they attacked him for?
oh man.
How long would be long? Like
2 hours?
10 minutes, 15 minutes of attacking?
2 hours.
Well, that would be.
Well, I'm saying you're right. You're right. I mean, I'm trying to jump to this.
I mean, even.
So if I'm laying there and I'm being attacked and I have a hip that's broken, I would look a minute or two.
Yeah, that's what
But
I'm saying.
I bet 5 minutes, I would say, would
Yeah.
be way too long.
3 hours, this man was
Wow.
attacked by killer bees.
Wow, just laying there getting just killed.
And he tried to get away, couldn't fight him off. It was a swarm, and maybe we should reach out to Okoro on this, of Africanized bees.
Yeah. Well, he does. I think he has a degree in entomology.
So he suffered stings all over his body. He said the doctor who treated him said that he's never treated a patient with this many extreme stings.
He survived.
He survived.
What?
Yes.
He laid there getting stung over
Yes.
and over again for 3 hours. and he
3 hours.
survived?
Yeah. He's got pictures of him with thumbs up and everything.
What?
And
Carlos, my man, 81 years old.
And it finally took a couple of guys to, let's see if it says how many. I want to say it said 2 or 3 guys that finally saw what was going on and came running in,
yeah.
swatting away at these bees just to get this guy some relief and call 911.
Wouldn't that suck if you survived 3 hours of killer bees and then you left the hospital and got hit by a bus?
Well,
Wouldn't that suck?
It does say that Amos had hip surgery the day after the attack, and he has now been moved to a different facility for rehab.
God, just laying there. So you couldn't crawl? You couldn't like pull yourself
Nothing.
away?
I mean, you're swinging at him.
But like laying there, I mean, it's a hip, but can't you like pull yourself along the ground?
I guess you can't. I mean, your back's hurting right now, and you can barely move. Can you imagine a broken hip?
Yeah.
And he's 81.
Well, but if I'm getting stung by killer bees, you know what, that back might.
He probably thought it was done. This was the end for him, you know?
Yeah, that sucks.
So can you imagine that?
Yeah. Good for
terrible.
him, though. Good. Well,
Still alive.
thoughts are with you, my man.
Right. Keep fighting.
Keep the guy in the good. If you can you imagine the next time he sees just one single bee?
Oh my
He's
God.
like, I'm out
That
of here.
poor
Like,
guy.
Yeah, he's never going to do yard work again.
That poor guy. He's like, I'm not mowing. Mildred, you're going out to mow now.
His wife gets attacked. But bees are interesting because the bees are like, we're supposed to be very careful with the bees. We don't want them to, apparently there's a shortage of honey or pollen or whatever the hell they do. And our goal is to keep them alive without going, you don't want to smash a bee.
Right.
You know that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wasps, all that other stuff, take care of business. But that's just interesting. I don't know if the killer bees are included in that or if those are separate and we can...
Africanized killer bees at that.
A coro.
What's going on, man?
Oh, man.
Chiambo,
Yeah, Jumbo.
talk to us.
We don't need any of that shit when we're over there. You need to isolate those things. Put them somewhere.
Get some spray or a net or
Well,
something.
as long as we have our off with us, we'll
Yeah.
be fine. The killer bees will stay away.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's part of our in our backpacks
Right. Our backpacks.
with our cash
Our backpacks.
for the drop zone. So, all right, well, that's good. That's a good little story. let's do our self-awareness segment. I think you have something. You said you had something tonight.
Yeah.
Self-aware.
I'm trying to be aware of my self-awareness when I'm out riding.
You're trying to be.
I'm trying to be aware.
So you're talking about when you're riding your bike.
Right.
All right, everybody. Really fast. On episodes 1 through 3, we talked a lot about Trey and his bike riding, which they provided some humor. Unfortunately, some of the content surrounding the bike riding stories didn't live up to what we hoped, and so those are gone for now.
Forgot.
Pulled but not gone, if you will. And so, for those of you that are just starting with us, Trey has another obsession for riding bikes. You still do it early in the morning?
Early in the morning, yes.
And do you do it at night as well now?
Sometimes I try,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, my God. That's a lot of bike riding. You get the helmet and everything. You're cool.
Yeah.
You got, like your outfits.
I don't know if I'm cool, but I get the helmet.
You're trying to be cool.
Yeah.
You got your outfits. You got a good bike.
I've got a starter bike.
You still have a starter bike?
Yeah.
So
Those things are expensive.
So I just wanted to clarify that. So when he says he's riding his bike, he is like riding a bike.
Riding a bike.
Every day. Go ahead.
So the other day, I was riding my bike, and there was a lot of people out walking as it's getting warmer, yada, yada, yada. And I pull up on this guy, had a dog, and I think somebody had just passed him walking by. I went to the right trying to pass him, and I noticed him saying something to me. I was like, oh, let me stop and see what he's saying. And he's like, hey, if you wouldn't mind, if you just kind of yell out left side, right side, something, that way I know when you're coming up. I was like, okay, I never thought about that, but I'll start trying that.
He stopped you to tell you?
Yeah, he stopped me to tell me that. So
I don't know who he thinks he is, but go ahead.
So I was like, I kind of feel like an idiot, but I was like, let me try.
Not a bad idea. You just yell. I think they do that. I think I've heard that. Even I knew that. Trey. I don't ride a bike.
And then I try to figure out how close do I yell it, anyway, I'm trying to gauge that. So
are you supposed to scream?
Yeah.
Right side.
Yeah. So anyway, so a couple times I did it, I get a hand gesture, like just what kind of waving at me. That
like,
they heard me.
Yeah.
They got it. Okay. But then you get these people with their earbuds in.
Of course.
I'll yell, left side.
You've talked about these people before, remember?
They're the only ones out there. Nobody else is around.
Right.
So I yell out left side and drive by them, and they freak out.
Right.
So I don't know how loud I'm supposed to be yelling this. I just don't want to be obnoxious with it. So, but then there's another group of people. And maybe I'm yelling left side wrong. I don't know. But I yell out left side, and for whatever reason, they look over their right shoulder.
Maybe they're panicked. It's quick decision, and they didn't get it right.
It startles them, and they look over their right shoulder for whatever reason. Left side, they look over their right shoulder.
Yeah. I don't see how that's on you, buddy.
So I'm trying to be aware of my, surroundings and make sure people are aware that I'm coming up behind them. But I guess yelling out left side is very difficult on some people.
Sounds like it.
But I'm trying.
Has anybody straight up, you go left side and they just move left?
A couple.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And then you're back to the right side.
And you would be
right. And they,
you would be surprised. So when I'm coming up on face to face, I don't yell anything. But I've realized that maybe I should do that too, because my God, there's been people looking at their phones and just looking whatever's going on the phone. They don't even see me coming up when I'm coming on straight on.
And they'll look up and then panic.
Yeah, panic and jump and startle them. And so, it's been ridiculous. So
I blame technology and earbuds and phones and things like that.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to be on a crowded walkway or a path with any kind of awareness?
Awareness, yeah.
So you basically what you're telling me is that you, in an effort to try and be more aware of your surroundings,
right,
you are now upset at other people because they're not being aware of the surroundings.
Right.
Makes sense to me.
Frustrating, isn't it?
It makes sense to me.
You follow all that?
Well, you're sitting here trying your best to be a good,
without saying move
citizen.
Out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to probably go to that.
Go to that next time?
Just start yelling. Just the whole bike ride. Just start yelling. Just people know you're there.
And a couple times where I've said left side, they've moved to the left. I say, okay, right side. And then,
There you go.
and then I'll go around them the right side. So it's just like, okay, well, We're both kind of surprised.
And I'm
when
sure
it
they
happens.
probably look at you like it's your fault.
Yeah, like I'm
That's
the asshole.
funny.
So
It
yeah.
just you should just go yelling this nonstop. It reminds me of like on Friends, Phoebe. Do you remember when she ran in the
yes.
park and she just started screaming?
Yeah.
Flailing her arms around. You should just do that on your bike. Just
flailing?
at people.
I guarantee they'll move the
Yeah,
move
that's
out
what
of the
I
way on
mean.
that.
They'll feed the right, left, wherever. They'll get out.
Get the hell out of the way.
You just stay straight the whole time, and they'll move.
Move, bitch.
Just. But anyway, that's funny. That's good. So, yeah, that's a good self-awareness.
Yeah.
That's like a double shot. I was like, you trying to be self-aware, and then
Them not.
them not. Interesting.
I'm trying.
Good for you. You and your bike riding.
Trying to share the road.
Yeah. Again, I mentioned this on the first couple. I would do that with you if I had a bike, if I thought I would like it, and if it was less intense. Like I feel like the angle is. I don't know. I just feel like it's too. My back is already bad. Well, it's not really. Today was like the first time. So
Yeah.
Now I'm acting like I have a chronic back. My back.
Well, not to mention these battle wounds I have on my arm. Obviously, you can't see it on.
Yeah, I can see it.
But our
You
listeners
fell off
can't see
your
it.
bike. How did you fall off your bike?
Not very carefully.
Was it because of somebody else?
No, honestly, I wasn't paying attention, and I kind of panicked a little bit.
This is your opportunity to blame somebody else.
No.
Okay, you're going to take
somebody
credit.
else,
Okay,
yeah.
go for it.
It was my stupidity. I panicked a little bit. I ended up off the sidewalk a little bit when I tried to jerk the bike over because the sidewalk was uneven with the ground. I caught the side of the sidewalk, and
Ugh.
I flew off one way, bike went the other way. So
This wasn't like a curb. This is just a level change in the
unlevel sidewalk.
Okay.
So basically, I was coming around the corner. It was a sharp corner, and I didn't realize I was so close to the edge of that corner, and I just caught it wrong.
You haven't been doing this very long. You need to be careful.
Yeah.
You can't just fly around corners like that.
Well, I didn't think I was flying either, but again, I wasn't paying
It
attention.
was probably like 2 miles an
Yeah,
hour.
I don't go very fast, Ryan. Come on now. So
Oh, my goodness.
sometimes I think I'm cool on the
Well,
bike,
you
and then
need
I
to be
realize I'm wearing
careful
those
because-
helmets.
Yeah. You need to be careful. I'm looking at you. Your elbows all jacked up. Your knees all jacked up. I mean, I guess
Chicks dig the scars.
I guess it's kind of cool. I mean, that will be a scar, I think, at least for a while. Don't they eventually go away? Maybe.
I hope so.
Well, you need to be careful. I just have this feeling that somebody's going to hit you, and I'm hoping that
Ooh,
it's
that almost happened today, twice.
twice, just today. You need to be careful because I don't know. I mean, you can't yell left or right to a car.
Yeah.
They definitely won't hear you.
Well, today I was going down the sidewalk because there's a little trail I go down on this side street, and I was just about to pass the side street to then go down the trail, and this car came up, and he's looking to the left. I'm coming to his right. He's looking to his left for traffic, and I pulled right in
Yeah.
front of his car and realized his car just kept coming up. He wasn't seeing me, so he almost caught my back tire.
Yeah,
but then he saw me,
Do that. They look one way.
and then he waves at me.
Yeah. Oh, he's like, oh, sorry about that. I almost killed you.
Yeah.
Yeah. People look one way and then they don't realize that something could have happened on the other side.
Right.
In that 5 seconds that you're looking the other way.
It's near a school. It's warm outside. People are
Right.
riding their bikes anyway. So just look both ways,
Yeah.
please.
I love how before you were a bike rider, you're like, oh, these bikers are annoying. And now you're a bike rider, you're like, these cars are annoying.
Assholes. And these walkers.
The walkers, oh my God. Well, that's good. You caught us up a little bit on the bike riding.
Yeah.
So be safe. I want you here. I don't need to do this alone. I can't imagine having to find a replacement Trey. The interview process would be somber and sad.
Tedious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm done for tonight. What about you?
I'm good.
Are you going to get anything to eat on the way home? I'm so hungry.
No.
I'm living vicariously through it. You're not eating
No.
something good and delicious. Okay.
I ate something horrible today, so
Oh, so you're done for the day?
I'm done for the day.
I think I don't know what I'm going to eat. Just a salad, something like that.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah,
That's what I
I'm
should
hungry.
eat
I'm going to
today.
eat something. So,
Have fun.
yeah, man, good show as always. I'll mention it again. Get a hold of us on social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram are the main three, right, Trey?
3 what?
3 places you can find us on social media. And
on the social media.
interact. It's getting better. We need some interaction. We crave interaction with everybody.
Yes.
And we have a website. It is stayinthegraypodcast.com. Lots of good stuff there. Even a blog entry still there. I need to do some more of those. And then of course our distributor for our podcast is Podbean. So if you go to that, you can find us there or anywhere podcasts are found.
Yep.
But get a hold of us, and we welcome it, and we look forward to the next time.
Find us, listen, have fun.
That's hashtag again. Find us, listen, have fun, right?
There you go.
All right, next time, guys. Love you.
Later. Ryan, are you sure you don't want me to massage your butt?
My back really hurts. You think it'll help?
Oh, it'll help.